Momma Braga, força do coração. Momma Braga. Your secret Momma. Dance under the sun, feel the earth below. Momma Braga.
Hi, it's Melanie for Momma Braga Unfiltered. And today we're turning the volume all the way up. We've got the trailblazer duo behind Active Dad's Rule, viral super dad, Derrick Culpepper, and the brilliant educator, leader, and author of Leftovers and Hand-Me-Downs, Dr. Lakeisha Culpepper. They're inspiring families, breaking stereotypes, and proving that love, leadership, and laughter can change the world. Buckle up. This is going to be good. Hello.
Hey.
The Braga family.
Welcome. I'm so excited to have you both on the show. I've been talking about both of you since our first phone conversation, and everyone's like, oh, we're so excited. I'm like, oh, you guys are gonna love them. They are one of my favorite families now, and in Texas, right?
That's right. Yep. We're in Texas.
So it's one of the states now that's going to be on the top of my have to visit.
Come on
with it.
Got a place for you. We'll leave the lights on for you.
Fantastic. So let's get to know both of you a little bit better. Who would like to start? Ladies first?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Go for it.
Yay. So I am, as Melanie said, I'm Lakeisha Culpepper, officially Dr. Lakeisha Culpepper. I'm a wife, a mother, an educator, just a regular everyday gal, I think, who's done some cool things just because, we have the space to do that. And I have a husband who's super supportive and gives me the space to try new things. And so I'm super excited to be here today. I'm sure there's much more that I could tell, but I always get nervous when I start talking about myself. And so
It's okay.
I'm just Keisha.
Sounds good.
As my friends call me.
All right.
Who are you?
My name is Derrick Culpepper. That's my government name.
Good.
And
Official.
official name.
What do I do?
So I'm a husband, I'm a father, of three awesome kiddos, and I love life. A lot you'll find out more as we continue to talk, but just a simple guy. I like to work on stuff. Kind of a homebody outside of work. I work in law enforcement, and I'm just thankful to be here. And we'll get more into it in here in just a little while.
Yeah.
Yes, and both of you are going to be, I guess our fans are going to know you much better because this is part one of part two, because both of your stories are so inspiring and empowering that we're going to try to get into 2 episodes. Maybe if there's a next season, we'll do another 2.
Okay.
We're here for it.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Perfect. So let's start with Active Dad's Rule. Derrick, you're already branding yourself there. I love the shirt. So do you want to talk a little bit about what is Active Dad's Rule?
Active Dad's Rule is a community of dads that are present and active in the lives of their children. And so it's one of those things that are intentional. And so Active Dad's Rule suggests that we're active and it's day after day and we rule.
Oh,
I really believe that.
Wow.
That's my definition of dad, day after day. Because
wow.
there's so many kids across our country and really across our world that suffer from the negative impacts of having a dad that's around every day. It's one thing, at least my definition is, it's one thing to be the father, biological father of a child. But you know what? If you really want to be impactful, you need to be a dad. You need to be there. You need to be in their lives. You need to be intentional about what you do so that you give the child a fair chance at living and knowing what it's like to have a father around. Because my wife and I, we have different roles. We're one and the same, but we have different roles as a father and as a mother. And so I believe in being active and being engaged. And that's the story and that's the mission. And that's what I share with fathers across the world, whether it be through video, through conversations like this, through a conversation at Walmart, at the 7-Eleven store,
Yeah.
whatever.
Mhm.
Because generally, when I wear this, it's a
It gets
conversation
attention.
starter.
Yeah.
I can see
Yeah.
people looking at me like, man, I like that shirt. Then here we go. Yeah, let me tell you about it, or to just tell you
Oh, that's
about
great.
what I do and who I am. And so that's my mission, is to inspire dads to spend more time and be to not be selfish, but to be selfless in giving
Mhm.
themselves to their children, and training them up in the way that they should go.
And when did you start Active Dads? Because this is nothing new. I know that for sure.
Mhm.
That's
I started back in 20, maybe 15, 16. It's been like 10 years now.
Oh,
That
wow.
I started it. Yeah, because I this funny story. So I don't even know how it just hit me. I think it was just God speaking to me, and I'm just an active dad. It's like active dad's rule. And I said, that sounds pretty neat. I said, let me go to social media and see if anybody's got that name. So I
Yeah.
go to Facebook, active dad's rule. Nobody's got it.
Oh,
I go to
wow.
Instagram, active dad's rule. Nobody got it. I go to Twitter at the time. Nobody has active dad's rule. Nobody across the world has it. And
Oh,
so I
wow.
was like, this is it. And so I went with Active Dash Rule, and then I also went to submit to get a patent on the name. It was available. You
Oh,
had
wow. Look at that.
Act Dads was out there and some other stuff, but not Active Dash Rule. And I was able to submit to get a patent on Active Dash Rule, and so I've had it ever since.
I almost find it's like faith. It was just like meant
Yeah.
for you. It was your
Hmm.
message to give. So I love that.
Yeah.
yeah.
And you did go viral. I have to
Yes.
I was waiting, Melanie, for him to say something about
Yes.
that.
Thank-
All right. Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna get to that now. But yes, that is true. With the video,
What
of
video?
the video of me combing my daughter's hair.
my
Keisha was
favorite.
Keisha was away, and so I was doing my daughter Linda's hair, and the video was 87 seconds long. At the time, I didn't even have an iPhone. I think I had a BlackBerry or something. And so when I
Oh,
tried to text it to her, it said text failed. The video was too long. So I figured, okay, if I want her to see it, I just uploaded it to social media, and then I can send her the link and we're good. And so,
yeah.
and that's exactly what happened. It wasn't really meant to be on the web from my standpoint, because I was trying to text. If the text would have went through, I never would have uploaded it
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
social media. It never would have made it. So after about 10 months
Yeah.
or so of the video just being out there, 400 or 500 views, this, that, and the third, then all of a sudden it just
It blew up.
when it just blew up. And if you watch the Cosmopolitan magazine documentary, they have their I don't know what to call it, the thesis or their reason why they believe it went viral was
Yeah.
because of an
Mhm.
incident in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where an African American gentleman was shot and killed by the police. And so all he did was he was having car trouble. And so a lot of the comments in the video was, here's your big bad black dude right here spending time with his daughter, because that's the comment they made about the guy from the helicopter in the sky. Looks like a big bad dude. He might be on something. So he was judging this guy, forming an opinion about a person he didn't know. He's 2,000 feet up in the air, and you
Yeah.
just think this is what you say. And so a lot
Yeah.
of comments, I stopped counting at like 800 million like 5 years ago
Oh,
on this
wow.
video across all of social media, because a whole lot of outlets had the video. So some had 60 million, some 40, some just all spread out. But I'm just thankful that something was created from our household that has a positive impact on society. And it's almost like every Father's Day, it gets more views because people
Comes
are
back.
looking
Of course.
Father's Day stuff. And even though the video, was some years ago, it has a powerful impact because every child needs a dad present in their lives.
And she is so adorable,
Yeah.
so well mannered. She encourages you during the
Mhm.
video, and it's like, oh my god, I want one of those too, just to encourage me every day. And like, I think she says, "Yes, sir." I think in the video, like
Yes,
so,
sir.
yeah, so
Mhm.
polite. And I'm like, oh, I need him at my house and do like boot camp with my daughter,
You know,
so
that's
I
from
can get
Texas. That's Texas.
And I love that. I wish everyone was more like that. It's so, so, so polite. And I did check, you're over 50 million views across platforms on that video.
That sounds about right.
Okay, yeah. See, yeah.
I did a little bit of like some deep dive. Yeah, I did some snooping. I've had a few weeks to do some snooping, even though it seems like sometimes I'm out of it. But I did some snooping. It's so great. And then you've got other platforms paying attention. Of course, I have to say my favorite first is the Baby Spot, who connected us. So I know she's been a fan since day one. Yes. And then you also got attention from the Kelly Clarkson Show, the Bishop T.D. Jakes Show, and Cosmopolitan Magazine.
Yeah, they did a documentary on us. Yeah.
Yes.
It was fun. It was fun time.
Yep. It really was.
And your work, I could be wrong, so please correct me, with your daughter helped inspire the Oscar-winning animated short film Hair Love.
That's true. That's how we met the author and the Sony production team that created it. That's when we went to the Kelly Clarkson Show. We had a chance to meet all of those folks that created the work.
See, that's wonderful.
How am I doing on your hair?
Good.
Let's see. I need some more grease.
Yes, you need more grease on there.
More grease. And then what?
And then when you brush it, and then put a band on there.
Put a band on it? Okay.
Yes.
Oh.
You're getting good. You're almost done. You're doing a good job.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart, so much. Daddy's trying. Do the best I can. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm almost done.
You're doing great.
Oh, baby, thank you so much. You're so encouraging to Dad. Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate you so much. You're so awesome. Daddy, getting your ponytails ready for school.
Nope, ready for church.
Ready for church? That's right. So we can go and praise the Lord tonight after school, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's right. All right, what you think? Looks good? All right, thank you so much. I love you, baby. Give us a kiss. Thank you.
Here's something that I will share that there were so many fathers that messaged me about the video crying, asking me, how did you create this, what we see? How is she talking to you like that and she's only 3? You know, so that gave me an opportunity to tell them that this is what she's seen us do. Because children are sponges.
Yeah.
They're going to just absorb what they see in those early years. And that's why it's so important that we be there, because she hears the way she talks to me, the way I talk to her, and the way we talk to her sister and brother, and how we say, thank you, you're doing a good job. So not only did she hear that, but Linda is really, really smart intellectually. She's extremely smart. Because if you watch the video, you know, it's like she knew what to say, when to say. She used the right volume, the right pitch, the right facial expression, all of that. That's just she's just an amazing child that has a really high intellectual capabilities, and she's also caring as well. You know, she just wasn't telling me that like a robot. You're doing well, good job, come here, thank you. You know, it was like coming from a place of, it was just naturally coming out genuine.
Yeah, she shows for her age, she shows a great level of empathy. And that's natural, because it's hard to teach empathy, but you could see she naturally has that. Like, oh my God, I could just like bundle her up. Like, oh, so cute. So great job. Like both of you. Like, that's fantastic.
You know, and here's something that a lot of fathers struggle with, because if you see us then, you know, let's see if we're able to keep that up. And if you look at her now, it's what you saw her do then, it's even more amplified now. It's who she is as a person.
Mhm.
even though she's older now, she still does it. She's just maturing. She still has the empathy and the
Yeah.
compassion, and she's still respectful to both of us. And she is funny as heck. She is funny. She is really funny.
She is.
If you look at our YouTube channel, you'll see that there's a playlist that says Jokes with Linda. It's like she
Oh,
likes to
okay. I
tell
can see that.
jokes.
So corny.
Yeah, we tell
They're
corny
definitely
jokes.
dad jokes.
Yeah, yeah, she has the right timing, the right laughter, and it's not rehearsed. She just does it naturally.
Yeah.
Just naturally just does it. So
She does. And I have to say this, so Linda's now 14,
yeah,
Oh,
which
she
wow.
just turned 14.
wild, right? So, and it's so funny. Derrick is absolutely right. Like who she is definitely is like nurture versus nature, right? Those were some qualities that were so deeply ingrained in her. But as parents, it's our job to train a child in the way that they should go. Like,
Yeah.
what is their natural being, right? And
Mhm.
that's what that means to me. It's like every one of our kids had, yes, we taught them right and wrong, but each of them had their own unique way. The
Mhm.
way they were bent, the things that they were naturally curious about, the things that they did organically that we were able
Yeah.
to really pour into. Because
Yeah.
now at 14, I was running to get back here for the interview because she signed herself up to volunteer at church
Signed herself up.
to
Oh,
watch
oh,
kids
nice.
tonight because we have an event with our church. It's called Serve Week. And so during the week, we have, I think it's like 500 projects around the city where families can sign up to, feed the hungry or help elderly with repairs at the house or help with
Oh,
after school programs.
oh,
Like it's all these different projects. Well, in order for families to do that, they need childcare. And so she let me know, she's like, oh, I signed up. I'm going to be watching kids. So she
oh,
teaches
wow.
class and yeah, and that's just who she is. Like, I don't ever have to say to her, hey, do you want to be of service in your life today? Right. She's
Right.
just
Mhm.
naturally looking
Servant.
for ways to do that. And all of our kids had that capacity. And again, part of it was watching us do that and just be natural servants and givers. But a big part of it really are things that they were born with. And watching that develop in each of them has been a blessing.
Yeah.
Well, that says a lot about your parenting as well. We are going to touch upon a little bit about your, I guess, experience with your, I guess, upbringing. Like the way you've raised your children, it's almost like um, it's admirable. Because not many parents, and once people get to know a little bit about your backstory, couldn't do what you guys have done. So I just want to take the time to applaud both of you because your children are the way they are because of both of you, not
Yeah.
of one or the other, but both of you working together. So that is what I need to have out there. Now,
Yeah. Thank you.
talking about your past, um, who would like to discuss a little bit about their upbringing first?
I'll go
Derrick,
first.
no
Yeah.
problem.
So I was raised in more of a rural country area until I was about maybe third grade. I think we moved to the city. And I was raised by my mom. My dad went to the military, and him and my mom they divorced because she didn't want to go. And so I was raised up in a fatherless home. Now I had a grandfather and I had some uncles that were around, but when it comes to what I believe a child really needs, is to see dad put his pants on, put his boots on, work out in the yard, in the garden, how you handle the stresses of life, how you handle situations. And I didn't see that. I heard about it, but my uncles didn't live with me. Grandfather didn't live with me. So I didn't have the day after day interactions that I longed for at the time. And also we lived in a country where we shared with each other. We may have been three people sleeping in the room, wasn't no central air and heat. It was box fans, it was a wood stove, and I didn't know I was poor until I started public school when they told me I qualified for free lunch because of my economic status. And I didn't know I was poor. I didn't know no different until the school told me. And so as my mom, she raised me, and then I also have three brothers as well. I'm the oldest. And and going through school, I had a lot of support from my friends' fathers, and their parents, and that meant a whole lot to me. Because when donuts with dad came, seat was empty. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I look up in the stands, after I'm playing football, as I continue to school. My mama's up there, my uncle, but I'm a dad. And
Yeah.
so those kind of things impacted me in life in a negative way just because, kids long for that relationship with their fathers. And so that's why you see now what I do, because
Mhm.
I longed for what you see now.
Yeah.
And that started from somebody. And I wouldn't change it either. So just so you know, I love my dad. We got a great relationship. And but I wouldn't change my upbringing because it'd be so much that I'm experiencing now that I may likely not experience. And I
Mhm.
want to be an example for those fathers that may have come up just like me without a father. I made no excuses for my dad or for myself. I knew at some point in life I had to go and get it done, and I couldn't hang on to the past, but I had to create a better present and a better future, which is why you see me act and do some of the things that I do, because it's related to I want my children to have something that I didn't have, and that was a dad that was present day after day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's beautiful. And that's kind of like your mission with the active dad's rule.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
This is my life story to tell. And that's it. The website too is www.active-rule.org. But this is part of who I am, and I will forever be until God calls me home and a legacy is left for my son to continue.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Mhm.
That's great.
Yeah.
And Miss
Yes,
Lakeisha.
same. So, like Derrick, I did not have my father growing up with me. I didn't meet my father till I think I was almost 20.
1998.
19, yeah, what
Same year we met.
how old I am in 1998.
Same year we met.
But I also didn't have my mother, so my story is a little different. I was actually raised by my great grandmother.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Marie Dorothy Foster, who was born in 1909. She happened to be biracial in 1909, if you want to if you want to kind of wrap your mind around that,
Yeah.
in North Carolina. Her mother was white, her father was black. And
Oh, wow.
so, yeah, so it was a very interesting upbringing in so many ways. Very strict, very religious background, no nonsense. There was a rule for everything. And that's really writing the book. I waited till my mother passed to write the book. I don't mention my father in it at all because I really have tried to be very sensitive, like Derrick said, in telling my story.
Yeah.
And Derrick says a lot of times that not having his father, was a negative thing, but truly we were able to take something negative, like take lemons and make
Turn it
lemonade,
around.
right?
Yeah.
And so that's the premise of the book, like leftovers and hand-me-downs, because I was truly raised on leftovers and hand-me-downs. I don't remember getting a new pair of shoes except for maybe Payless on Easter, like a time or two, but everything I had was somebody's before me. And then
Mm-hmm.
my great grandmother was the master. Again, she lived, survived the Great Depression, right? So like she was the
Yeah.
master of leftovers and canning and sewing. And so people make fun of me. I've got, 1,000 sewing machines. I do all of those things.
Yeah, as you can see, right?
Yeah, I
Sure.
sew and I
Fantastic.
garden
That's
and
a beautiful skill to have, and I think it's a dying skill with a lot of people. I can't sew
it
nothing. I give everything to my mother.
is.
So that's
See,
great.
and I've taught my kids. So Linda they all know how to use a sewing machine, but Linda really took up, the task. But DJ even sews. That was one of the things, like you got to know how to put on a button, like if something. So I was raised by my great grandmother, and it was very difficult. Now my mom had a long, long, complicated history in drug use and alcohol. And so a very hard story, but I know and understand now, and I think on some level, even when I was younger, that hers was really rooted in trauma. So my grandmother, my mother's mother, had her when she was 13. And
Oh,
so
wow.
if you can imagine being a 13-year-old in rural North Carolina living in the mountains, there's a lot of speculations on who the father was and all of those things. So we're sure that it was some trauma and lots of abuse going on then that really shaped her. And so in spite of the fact that my mother was not in my life for almost all of my childhood, and I spent a lot of time as a young kid, waiting, because sometimes she would call me at just random times, like it would be 3 in the morning or two, and
Mm-hmm.
my great grandmother would wake me up. I would get on the phone, I would talk to her. So she taught me to love and respect my mother. But in some ways, I think she was terrified that I would become that same person. And so she was very hard, a very hard woman. And again, some of it was probably how she was raised, because, you know, the racism she faced and the poverty she faced, the abuse it was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah.
And so I had the option of carrying all that weight with me. I didn't, like Derrick said, I met my father much later. My mother had two children, my brother and I. He passed away when I was in college. And so that's actually around the time that I was able to meet my father, and I met him actually at my brother's funeral. That was the first time I'd ever seen him. And so a
Oh.
lot of complicated emotions, a lot of feelings. But for me, I just knew that I wanted something different. And hearing my great grandmother say to me, you're going to grow up and you're going to be just like your mom. You're not going to do anything. You're not going to amount to anything. You're just so stubborn. You're so hard headed. I never really internalized any of those things in my mind. And it wasn't that I thought I was better than my family, or I thought I would be able to do something different for different sake, or to even prove them wrong. But like in my heart of hearts, I just felt like my story would be different. And it wasn't a negative to any of them. Because one of the things some of my cousins and I go back and forth about is the belief that I have that anybody can choose a different path. And one of my
Mm-hmm.
cousins that grew up really more like a brother to me, my cousin Kevin, he's always said, not everybody can do what you did. Like that's not normal. And I always say, but it can be. Like, why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't that be? Because I don't feel like I have any more anything than anybody else has. But I just made a choice. And believe it or not, I learned the power of choice watching my mom and her addiction for many years. Because again, there were sometimes I would go live with her for a little spurt of time, because she would, call the FBI and say my great grandmother had kidnapped me. They would put me
Oh,
on a
wow.
plane in the dead of night and fly me somewhere. Like it was a lot. But I watched how she was able to maintain a drug and alcohol abusive lifestyle my entire life, as long as I knew her. So for 30 some odd years. But I also never saw her go to work. And so what I remember believing and thinking then was like, once you make up your mind to do something, whether that something is positive or negative, nothing can stop you. You can
Mm-hmm.
do anything you make up your mind to do. And for her, for whatever reason, she made up her mind to be held captive to that true disease, true illness, and was never able to break free. But I felt like I used that same momentum in my life to really try to create something different. And so that's really what it is. It's just the art of saying, I found someone who was my very best friend in college when he broke into my dorm room when I first met him. And at first he said, I said, what's your name? And he said, Derrick Culpepper. And I said, oh gosh, that's an awful last name. Where are you from? He was from the country. And just becoming fast friends and being together every day for years, even dating other people, but just finding someone that I felt like this is someone I don't want to not have with me every day, was the first step. And then the next step was, okay, how do I lay down all the things I think are right in family and what I want? How does he lay down all of the things that he thinks are maybe even fears? And how do we create and sculpt something that's unique and what we want it to be? And that is an everyday choice in marriage. You never stop choosing to make it what you want it to be in every conversation, every response, every action, every reaction. We're making a choice of what we want our family to look like. And sometimes we get it right, and sometimes we get it way wrong. And I tell my kids
Mhm.
all the time, you are going to get you a good therapist now. I'm sure there's going to be some things we did wrong. You're going to want to work out with some people. And I believe that. I believe that. And it's true. And we talk through those things even now. The spaces and places where they had wished that I had given more grace. And because I'm a pretty strict mom, I'm really very strict because that's how I grew up. Derrick, I feel like is so much more laid back because his mom always tells me, girl, I had four boys. I couldn't do with them, anything with them. I just let them do whatever. So those two coming together and trying to create something new was a challenge, but it truly is a challenge that with prayer and with a determined, made up mind, we just chose to do something and choose to do something differently.
Yeah, I love that. And then you are, like you said, it's you're working on this daily. So it's
Mhm.
not like, oh,
It's
we know it. We got it down right. Yeah, it is.
Not a
Marriage is
thing.
not easy.
It's not, and you never arrive. And I think that's the misconception. I will never forget. I have been married to Derrick. I'm very, very, very close to my great aunt Linda, who's since passed away. That's who little Linda's named after. But Linda and I have always been very close, and my aunt Linda and I were always very close. And I remember calling her 2 weeks after being married to Derrick, and I said, "Oh my gosh, marriage is so easy. Like you didn't tell me like we get to sleep together, and I don't feel bad about it, and like we can wake up when we want, we can do what we want." And like it wasn't 5 minutes later that it wasn't so easy, right? And
Yeah.
so it is not a we have arrived ever. I think when you think you've arrived in your marriage and in your parenting and in your field of study and in your whatever, you're missing the point. Like you've completely missed it because it is an everyday choice. And as long as you are alive, you're either growing or you're dying. There is no stagnant. And so what are you doing to grow and to thrive every day? And it's a choice.
So, what would you say has shaped the way you parent today?
I
A
really think Derrick.
combination of everything?
Yeah, but Derrick is like this is like the strategically like this is the year, you know how you pick a word every year. So my year is soft. My word for the year is soft. And I some of my friends were like, "Oh, that's dumb. You know who wants to be soft?" Well, because I've been very hard for many years and very tough and very strong and hold it all together and get it all done. But this year I'm really stepping into my area of instead of going hard, like we always say, I'm going soft, right? I'm dialing it back. And so right now, what shapes that most is really Derrick. And he doesn't know this. It's the first time I've actually shared this, but I'm trying to say the things he says to me that used to drive me crazy in my head. So, like, for example, if the kids are doing something that drives me crazy, I would normally address it like da 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 da. But he would say, Mama, just calm down. They'll be fine. They'll don't even respond. Just look the other way. And I'm thinking, look the other way. He's gonna burn the house down or whatever it is, right? And
Yeah.
so what's really shaping and informing me now is his voice. Because now after what, 30 years? I don't know how long. I know no dates, Melanie. How long have we been?
Well, we've been married for almost 25, but
So
we've been dating
28.
about
So
28.
we've been together almost every day for 28 years. And so I'm really starting to hear his voice as part of my internal voice. And I'm using it to help me rewire my thinking because we are so different.
You
Yeah.
know, what shaped there's a few things that has shaped the way that I parent. One was my upbringing, because I didn't see many successful marriages in my family on either side, for that matter. I saw poverty and I saw drug use and alcoholism, but not the positive side. That, two, also understanding that generational curses, things, why did my family do like they did? Could it have been because of something they saw 50 years ago? The way that
Mhm.
their dad brought them up or whatnot, just understanding that it has an impact. Three, uh maturity does it, because sometimes in our immature thinking, um we just react,
How did it?
because the difference between a boy and a man is a boy acts then thinks, a man thinks then act. So
Mhm.
that comes with maturity. And then four, the hope for the future. Hope that the present and the future can be better. It don't have to be what it once was. I'm in charge, meaning that God has given me dominion over. I can't blame my daddy. I can't blame my mama, my uncles. I didn't ask to be here. But what am I going to do now that I am here?
Mhm.
I can't make excuses and get mad and take it out on my kids. And, and again, that may not be everybody's situation, because I talked to some other guys that don't agree, they mad at their father for this, that, and the third. But one thing we can do, and one thing we decided to do, was honor our mother and our father.
Mhm.
That's the
Mhm.
commandment number 5. Honor your mother and your father, and I think it'll go well
Your
with you.
days.
You'll go well with
Mhm.
you. And so that's what we decided to do, because even in the midst of our parents not being around, or my mom was, is that we still can find something to honor them.
Yeah.
We can honor them. I ain't saying we got to agree with everything they say, but we can honor our mother and we can honor our father, and so to this day, we do just that. And then it reflects in our children, because we teach our children the same thing, to honor. And just mentorship, that's what's been important in my life. I think I mentioned it earlier with my uncles, but when I went to high school, I had Pastor Herb Spady that took me under his wing and invited me to his church and to anti-drug rallies and things like that. He came to my football games because he was the chaplain. And then when I went off to college,
Don't forget Bowie.
oh yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't even forget him. Oh yeah, neighbor.
The other day. So I was like, shout
So
out to Bowie.
Darrell Bowie was a gentleman, and this was right probably when we moved. It was right when I graduated. So my mom moved to another house, and the guy that lived across the street from her, his name is Darrell Bowie. And you're right, we just saw him about 2 weeks ago. And so he had a lawn service. He was a businessman, known in the community, and he allowed me to mow yards with him during the summer and spring break when I would come home. And so he would teach me uh, how to do things, and we lived right across the street from each other. So I saw him all the time, whenever I would come home. And so he also owned a gym. I think the name of it was Powerhouse Gym because I was playing football at the time, and he would let me work out there. He gave me a key to go anytime I wanted to go. I don't care if it was night, day,
Oh
it
wow.
didn't matter.
Yeah.
Where I could go to gym. He didn't charge me anything, and he paid me to mow. But the lessons that I learned while being with him helped shape me. Because it wasn't long after that I started a lawn service my own self, because I'm an outdoorsman. I like that kind of stuff. And so he was impactful in my upbringing as well as the college minister that we met that married my wife and I, Chris Snowden, who's also still a mentor for me. Then once we got here, I met Brother Kelvin Thomas. He's been a friend of mine. He more mentor friend of mine for 24 years now.
Yeah.
He's older. He has kids that are 30 something now. They older. And people like that, and like Tony Rory with the men and ladies of honor. So it's like God strategically placed people in my life. Now, God will place people in our lives, but it's up to us to accept the mentorship.
Right.
Yeah.
We can deny it. And so I accepted it because I wanted to be better. I wanted to learn. Matter of fact, Kelvin Thomas, as a man, bought me my first suit. Mind you, I'm 26 at that time.
Yeah.
Okay, my mama bought me a Easter suit and here and there. Or I matched up some hand-me-downs from somebody.
Yeah.
But Kelvin took me to KG's Man Store in Mesquite and helped me buy my first full suit that a man bought.
Yeah.
You see,
Can I ask, where did you go with the suit?
I was going to church, I think. If I was involved in church, it was just I needed a suit because
Yeah, he just didn't have a good
that's the
suit.
type of guy
That's so nice.
Kelvin is. He's suit tie, sports coat,
Every day.
jacket,
Yeah.
grease pants, that kind of stuff. That's how he
That's
carried
nice. That's how
himself.
gentlemen should be dressed, right?
Mhm.
Yes. At some point in the year.
And he's also
Yeah.
the CEO of Kingsman 21. It's a mentor program and that I'm part of with him that he created. But the point is, I've had people in my life that took out of their own time and resources to show me the way.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because as men, that's what we need. Sometimes when our fathers aren't around, our daddies aren't around, we got to be careful of the TV, which brings up a whole nother subject. You got to be careful because that's not manhood that they showing on TV. That's emotionalized guys that don't know who they are, that just, have this ideal about life that's about fast money, women, just be selfish and just do what you want to do, which is what the scripture says. In the last days, men will be lovers of themselves. And that's why another reason why I spend a lot of time with my kids, because I want them to see the reality. I don't want them learning it from the music. I don't want them
Mm-hmm.
learning it from the TV because a lot of that is detrimental. It's very few programs that are actually healthy, that actually portray fatherhood or motherhood in a positive light. For example, growing up, there were shows like Archie Bunker, where he was some kind of idiot, he wasn't really taught everybody anything. Then you got George Jefferson, who was a clown, but not really a good father. Then you got James Evan on Good Time. He stayed mad because they were poor and made Florida say damn, damn, damn all the time, but it wasn't anything positive that showed real struggle other than the Cosby Show.
Which is his favorite.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw Cliff
I
Huxtable and
remember.
Claire, I said, that's it. That's what I want.
Yeah.
He was successful. He was a doctor. He had Clara, he had his kids. The way that he talked to him, he didn't cuss at him.
Mhm.
He wasn't listening to all type of ratchet movie and TVs. He was there and he was present. So when I
Yeah.
saw the Cosby Show, I was hooked, and I was hooked ever since then because I was like, that's what I want right there. That's the type of life that I want. And so, in terms of TV program, that was one of 6 shows, and those are the ones that I can remember. But I'm sure there's more that may have impacted other people. But a lot of TV make fathers look like they're idiots and they don't know nothing. They can't trust the wisdom of the father. They rely on the mother. Mother is the go-to person. She's the one over the family, the matriarch. What about the father? What about the protector and
Yeah.
the provider? What about the one that God created first in the God order? What about him taking responsibility and role and being that example and that covering for the family? You don't see a lot of that on TV now. So I don't watch a lot of it. But you don't see a lot of that on TV now. So I'm gonna live it and I'm gonna be it and I'm gonna live by example, which is another thing about active dad's rule. We lead by example. I don't do stuff I don't tell my son not to do. I lead by
Mhm.
example. Otherwise, it looks like I'm a lie. Well, Daddy, you telling me not to do it, but you doing it. But if I live it and I walk the steps, then I can be my testimony can be stronger because I'm actually doing what I'm telling them to do or not to do.
Yeah, you lead by example.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's what it's about.
Yep.
So do you like meet people? I know that you say your tops usually are the conversation starters.
Mhm.
Is there like a meeting place where people are like, oh, active dad's rule will be here? Like there's a group of people getting together. Do you offer like support settings like that for other fathers in the community who want to be more active?
So what I do now is I work with Kingsman 21 mentoring program right now that we have. We meet on Saturdays. Every other Saturday actually we meet in person, and then on the other days we'll meet over the phone. So currently I don't have an actual set time that I meet with fathers now. But that is something that I'm looking at doing because there's really a need
It
to do
is.
it to where we can just converse and talk and just let's just hear your story, right? And then let's see what's what's healthy and what kind of what are we doing, and just kind of provide some direction because a lot of people do ask me that because they see the video or they see me around and they ask me that, but that's like another step. That's why I did activedadsrule.org because right now it's a clothing line, but
Mhm.
I'm adding whether it be Zoom like we're doing now or whether it be some kind of way that we can get in touch and we can mentor from a distance, kind of, to make it impactful or just to see what yeah, just kind of hang out and talk.
So they did. So I have the opportunity through work to help with our annual Labor Day parade in one of our sister cities here. And a few years ago, I was so excited. We were trying to get some different groups engaged.
Oh yeah.
And Derrick actually got together
Oh
a
yeah.
huge group. I was waiting for you to tell that.
I forgot about
A
that, to be
huge
honest.
group of dads. And they were in the parade together. And I mean,
Oh
you
yeah.
talk about the city, like all these dads with their active dad apparel. They had all their thousands of kids. They were dragging them up the road in the parade. They
Yeah.
had all their old classic cars, for several of them. That was amazing to watch because this is the thing we don't talk about as much. And Derrick hit the head on the nail on the head. Like this idea that so much of what shapes us is what we ingest, right? What we see on TV, what we hear through music. And there is misinformation about the role of both father and mother, right? And so, and again, I think that's why watching the women in my family struggle, watching some of my aunts experience significant domestic abuse, watching my mother, the things that I watched really shaped this hardness um, around me, around my heart, around my thoughts, and even my actions in some ways. And then the television programs that we watch perpetuated that, right? When you see Big
Mhm.
Mama's house, like it's all about Big Mama, right? And
Mhm.
whatever shows we watched really did place the
Hmm.
mother at the head as the wise, all-knowing one who was able to deliver and hold it all together. And by doing that, it diminished the role of the father. Now, and here's the tricky part. I think in some ways it actively diminished that. So it's one thing to say, I'm going to shine and I'm going to unconsciously give others permission to shine around me. There's another thing to say, I'm going to shine while telling you not to shine. So when you watch those shows and it's like, oh, don't listen to your father, or let's not tell dad, that message being said over and over is also toxic to women because it doesn't teach us that it's okay to embrace your softer side. It doesn't always teach us that it's okay to love traditional things like cooking
Mhm.
and gardening and loving my family. And what's been interesting to see is I'm loving this new, I think it's called the trad woman movement, like the traditional woman setting, like where all these families are home. And I don't know really like what's at the root of it, but except for the videos I see, but like women going back to doing things at the home and not feeling shame in that and not feeling as if they're not as powerful as they could be if they're not trying to have it all. Because I think nobody can tell you what your household should look like, and whether that
Mhm.
looks like the mom being the breadwinner or the dad being the breadwinner, whatever that structure is for your family. What Derrick is referencing, this biblical model of family, is really about how we engage with each other, how we respect the gifts and the responsibilities that everybody brings to the table. But the everyday little details are something that we help each other with. So like if in our younger years of marriage, I was better with our finances, because I was a saver and Derrick was kind of a spender. So like we made me in charge of that. But when that changed, excuse me, as that changed, Derrick is now in charge of all the, I don't even know what, I just swiped my card, right? And so now but that's because in your family, roles can change if you respect each other for where you're going, because you are growing. But if I'm
Mhm.
constantly telling him don't do it or don't listen to dad or we're not going to do it that way, you go outside and mow and we'll do everything. If that's the message I'm saying all the time, then how can my partner ever develop to their fullest potential, if I'm actively talking down to them instead of saying good job dad, you can do it, which are things that, again, Linda heard us say, and she heard me say to her brother and sister and to her dad, like encouraging one another to try something new. Because dad he started doing her hair a lot after that, but the first few times he needed some support. And so that's what you
Mhm.
see, and that's what you hear in that video is the support that we have strategically and purposely decided to give each other so that we can create our household and our family as heaven on earth. And again, we have some hard things to overcome. Like we've had sickness, we've had death, we've had financial woes. Like we've had some hard hills to climb. And so I don't want people to listen to this and think, oh, it's going to be hunky dory. No, this is work, but it's worth it.
It's intentional action. It's being
Mhm.
intentional in my relationship with my wife, intentional with my relationship with my children, and that's each of them because they're all different. I was telling Linda that this morning about her and her sister and brother. All of y'all got the same mom and the same daddy, but y'all are unique.
Very
I
different.
let them know that they're unique in a special way, though. It's 8 billion people on this planet, and no two people are alike. And God created us all with a gift, and those gifts can look different from each other. But that's the unique,
Mhm.
that's the brilliance of the creator, right? And but being intentional because when we spend time with each other and with our children, we can tell when something's not right. We can hear what's being said that's not being said because you spend time. You know people's habits, you know what they like, you know what they do. And so when something's off balanced, you can address it more sooner than later because our children and all of our children everywhere, they're dealing with probably a little bit more than what
I
we
think so.
dealt with when we were younger. We
Mhm.
had the internet.
I think so.
We read more with the newspaper. You had the Britannica Encyclopedia. Now you got Google and AI. We didn't have Google and AI. But
Nope.
however, the our world puts out stuff though that makes them doubt who they are.
Yeah.
It makes them doubt their sexuality. It makes them doubt whether or not they're valuable or not. They find a
Mhm.
friend in Siri,
Mhm.
or a friend through this automated that always tells you the good stuff and telling you to discipline yourself. Instead of working out, go take pills. to do it the quick way instead of the old fashioned way of just, hey, push away from the table, start working out. I mean, that goes for grown people too. But the point is, we have to be intentional and we have to be there to help our children work through those different stages of life as they're growing up. And so if I'm not here day after day, I can't do that well. You know, if I'm not
Mhm.
engaged and active, or if I'm not supporting my wife when she needs to support, you know, if I'm not present actively and engaged with that, then it doesn't it probably can still turn out okay, but not as well with the way God designed it. It's just
Yeah.
the way God designed it just seems to be, not seems to be. I know for a fact it's just really been the greatest blessing to us when it comes to parenting, our marriage, working out stuff, the way that we honor people. All of that is biblical stuff. That's not worldly, fleshly things. That's something you learn and something you do and adopt as part of your the way that you live life. So missing because there is so many homes in America that don't have a father there. 4 out of 5, I think it's maybe 4 out of 6 or 8 kids are in a home without a father around.
Wow.
80% of prisoners in the prison confess that they were raised up without a father.
Mm-hmm.
Teen births. There are so many statistics that are impacted by the father not being present in the home. And I'm gonna say this on your show. I told myself I'd be damned if that happened to me. It's not going to happen. It happened to me growing up, but I'd be damned if I let it happen to the children that I done helped create. Because we have so many fathers, so many boys getting girls pregnant, having babies. Because real men know how to take care of their responsibility. All these people on it that they're calling with 7 and 8 children by 6 different women, those are boys. I don't care if they 40.
Yep.
Those
Yeah.
are boys. Those are not men because a man takes care of his responsibility. He doesn't avoid it. He doesn't do all of that other stuff. But boys are selfish, not selfless. A man is selfless. Look, I've helped out this child in the world. I'm going to help take care of him because there's so many men, they want to do this, they want to do that. No, when you start having babies, making babies, you need to cut down your extracurricular and make sure this baby's all right. If you
Yeah.
playing golf more than you spending time with your kids, that's backwards. And golf is not bad. If you hunting and fishing more than you spending time investing in your daughter, telling her she's pretty and embracing her femininity and going shopping or playing games with them, go look at my YouTube channel. You'll see I've been doing this. This ain't nothing new. But I'm just saying, but you got a lot of followers. Well, I got my time. Okay, well, your time needs to be strategically in place so that you can make sure home is okay. Make sure your son is spending time with you and be aware of their friends and who they hanging with and where they going and lead by example and laugh. And also tell your children you're sorry. Ask them to
Mhm.
forgive you because we don't want to give this impression as fathers we're always right.
Yeah.
We ain't never been through nothing. Or why are you acting like that? You ought to be ashamed. Well, I acted like that when I was 16 too. So I need to tell my son, you know what, son, I know what you're going through, and I'm sorry. I acted this same way
Mhm.
when I was 17,
Mhm.
18. I'm not happy about it. But here's what I did though. I want to ask you to forgive me because I set that up the wrong way. And here's what I
Mhm.
did to get out of it.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
because our kids want to hear us say, you know what, I'm sorry. My wife want to hear me say, you know what, baby, I could have handled that differently.
Sure.
I do that with my children now. I sit down and say, you know what, I fussed at you a while ago, and I could have handled that differently. I'm sorry. See, our
Yeah.
kids need to hear that instead of us having this deal like we always right. Because as parents, we're not. But if we are intentional though about what we do and what we say, we make and minimize those times. We don't have to say everything that come to this. It'll get us in
Yeah.
trouble. We ain't got to just say and just spill out everything. Sometimes you can just think and listen.
Yeah.
Don't listen to reply, listen to understand. See what your children are saying. I can't expect Linda at 14 to act like she's 28.
Mhm.
You know, let her mature. Let me massage her, you know, by embracing her and showing her and teaching her these lessons. Then she'll be on a healthy ride, on a healthy journey to 28. You know, so those are some of the things that I think about. Even with my son now, he's 24, and my daughter 21. I got to realize they're adults now. I can't talk to DJ like I did when he was 5. He's grown. He's
Mhm.
bigger than not the fact that he's bigger than me. That's not it. But he's growing into his own person. He's growing into be whom God has called him to be. I'm just here. I like using this analogy. Bowling. You know, you like bowling? Bowling. You know what
Uh,
bowling
uh,
is?
yeah. My
Bowling,
husband
right?
is a fantastic bowler, and so is my daughter. Not me.
Okay.
It
Okay.
always goes to the gutter,
So you
no
know how
matter
both.
what.
I'm glad you brought that up. You know the rails that you pull out to keep the ball from going to the gutters? Well, that's
Yes.
what parents are. We keep our kids. You can let them go as long as they're going straight. But if they hit the wall, we need to be there to support them, to teach them, to try to help keep them out of the gutter.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's a good analogy of what parents should be like. And the gutter has the two rails. Both sides got two rails, right?
Yeah.
Uno, dos. We got two. If one is missing, you got a rail on one side, and then the other side can be very dangerous because that other layer of support is missing or it's not there. You know,
Yeah.
and for all of you fathers that are listening to this, some people gonna say, I've heard this before. Well, you know, the mama won't let me see him. You know, are we going through custody battles? Are we divorced or whatever the case is? Okay, I understand that that's a different dynamic, but you can still find a way to be present in that child's life, whether you be on the visitation for school or whether the court says you got visitation every 2 weeks. You make sure you're on time. You make sure you're there
Mhm.
to pick that child up. You make sure you're providing the financial support for them to be in whatever activities, making sure they're on your insurance for their dental care and all of that kind of stuff. If you got to take off work to go take them or they go home sick, you need to let your employer know, especially if you live in the same town. You know, whatever the mother's got to say, if you got to go to court, so be it. But you can still find a way to spend time, even if you're not in the same household. You know, because
Mhm.
I've heard that a lot, and it's like, well, go to court and see what they say. So, but when you get your child, what are you doing when you get the child? Don't be bad mouthing the mama. We don't do that around here. Don't bad mouth her because that's his mama. You just
Yeah.
focus on your relationship with him and you tell him to love his mama. No matter what she say about you, you know, because many kids them heard this, you know, you're gonna be just like your daddy. You just sorry like your daddy. A lot of women will do that and just poison a kid toward their daddy. Can you know what emotional impact that has? Or if a father tells a daughter, you know, you just like your mama, you sorry, you ain't gonna be nothing. Do you know that damages a child? You
Hmm.
know, so that's my thing. Some people, some guys don't like my stance on it. I don't really care. I mean, because we got to get past that, right?
We do.
Yeah.
Because the child is the one that's being impacted. You know,
Yeah.
and a lot of guys do that because that's what happened to them. Remember, I mentioned generational curses, just
Yeah.
understanding your family dynamic. That's important. So I won't be an angry guy, or drunkard like my daddy, or angry and want to whoop all the time.
Hmm.
Physical discipline. It has its place, but this is a different place. This is a place out of being angry, not discipline. You know, I don't want that. You know, so but anyway, uh, but yeah, that's kind of my stance on it. Because sometimes I can get real upset when I'm talking to dudes. I can get real passionate about this because when I hear an excuse come up, I validate their feelings because this is their experience. Okay, what are you gonna do now though?
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
that you've been exposed to some different methods that are more healthy, now what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
gonna go on blaming and time's being wasted and your child's getting older watching TV and listening to music and probably starting to act and talk like you don't like? Or are you gonna get here and let's get to work?
Yeah.
Be present. So, you know, so some of my conversations go that way, you know, because I'm passionate about this. You know, I really am. I can be passionate about it.
Yep.
That's why you need to write a book.
That's
Yeah.
why it is.
All right, we got work to do. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
It,
I don't
I,
cut.
I think it would be amazing to you already have the message out there. Just
Write
put
it
it in book form.
down.
Yeah.
It'll
Write it down.
sell out. That'll be the next time you'll be on the Kelly Clarkson show
Exactly.
promoting your book.
We'll have you back.
That's right. Have me back and see, you know, then and now, right?
Where are
Yeah.
they now?
Where are
Yeah,
they
where
now?
are they now? They're making more impact
Yeah.
in the global world now.
Yeah.
Right. That's right.
All right. Stay tuned. I want to encourage dads to get involved, be active in your home, in your community, meaning your subdivision that you live in, you should know your neighbors at least 3 to 4 houses down on both sides, right? Because in our country, everybody can keep to themselves. You don't know who live next door. You have no relationship with them. You don't wave at them. You don't know. Our country, I think, has gotten that way. We've gotten away from community. I also think that that fathers should be involved in their greater community, know what's going on at City Hall, go vote, find out, what's happening in our school system. That's the fourth one. And we also should get involved in our local church for those that are believers. If you ain't no believer, I don't know what to tell you. But I get involved in my local church. I need to know what's going on. I need to be fed as a man. That's why I have those mentors that I mentioned to you earlier with Kingsman 21.
Yeah.
I have these people because you mentioned it earlier. We can't get comfortable and think we've made it. Because the minute that you think you've made it in something, you cease to sharpen your sword.
Yep.
And when you're dealing with people and you're dealing with emotions, illness, jobs, weather, country, war, all of those kind of things, you can't go to sleep at the helm.
Yeah.
You got to stay alert and you got to be ready to pivot and take a left turn and a right turn.
Yeah.
You got to be ready to address this. That's why, I have to stay hungry to learn how to be a better dad. Now, most people would think that's foolish, man. You one of the most popular dads in the world and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, that's true, but I got to stay on my knees. I got to stay active because my kids are growing in new situation and changing. And my parenting style is just evolving. That's what it's doing because what I'm gonna tell my son when he gets ready to get married. Well, that was obsolete 10 years ago, in terms of a full conversation because he's growing. But see, I have to stay hungry to learn too. I'm
Yeah.
not absent from that. I have to learn and read and trial and error, and I have to do that constantly as well. And so that's what I want to encourage dads to do. Not just fix your house first, or I don't say fix, make whatever adjustments are necessary for you to be active. But then you need to know what's going on in other places too, so you can make informed decisions as well in those other areas. Because men are needed in leadership, the right type of man, not this man that care about himself and don't give a damn about nothing else. I'm talking about a man that's concerned about his children, his home, the state of our country, and those kind of things in a healthy way.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I would say this, like whether you are married and in, a married relationship, committed relationship with the father of your children or not, I would say that my reminder really for women and for families is this, that your enemy is not the other person. The enemy of a dynamic and strong family is broken and hurting children. And so anything that's going to come into the equation that is going to break your children, which is your legacy, that's going to hurt your children, that is the enemy. That is what you need to use your energy to fight against, not against each other. And I think that has the power to really reshape and reframe our thinking. And for those women and men who have created children with people that maybe they don't like or respect anymore, I would say to them to remember you chose this person, right? And whatever was it, alcohol induced one night stand, or was it, many years of contemplation and this is the person I chose? Either way, you made the choice to be with this person. So find it in your heart, find it in your mind, find it in your spirit to work together to address the enemy, which is anything that would damage that child. And the enemy is not each other.
Yeah. I love that. I love that a lot. So we are going to wrap up today because I do appreciate your time and I don't like taking up so much time. And we're going to do the fun part, which is my rapid questions. Sorry. I love it. It's fun.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I love rapid questions.
and I tried my best. I tried to keep your family in mind. So, number one, who in the family is most likely to start a dance party out of nowhere?
DJ.
Yeah, I would have to say. I almost said Tinkle, but
DJ.
Yeah, DJ.
That's
our oldest, DJ. Our son, DJ.
Yeah.
That's so nice. Yeah. Number two, what's the Culpepper household's unofficial theme song?
Oh, that's a good one. We have so many, man. Oh, it's so much. We Are Family would be an easy one,
Yeah.
like the old school song. We just like music though.
I don't know. I like just the two of us.
Derrick does like old classics.
We
Oh,
can make it if we
There's
try.
5 of us, so
Yeah. Oh yeah. Cause me and Linda did a video on that song. So
that's a good song.
yeah,
Yeah.
we are family. And
I'm gonna go with We
yeah,
Are Family.
yeah,
I'm gonna go with We Are
yeah,
Family.
yeah. We'll go with that.
classic. I love that. Fantastic. Number 3, if your family had a signature catchphrase, what would it be?
Just do it.
Uh,
Wait, you gotta be fast. It's rapid fire, Daddy. Come on.
you also
And this
Yeah.
is one of the ways that we're different. Derrick is a mauler. And I remember when we were first married, when we were younger, we would get into arguments. And he told me one time, he said, I hate arguing with you because I always think of things to say the next day.
Oh, that happens to all of us. I'm sure after this interview, I'll be like, oh, I should have said this and that. I should have. That happens all the time.
I don't know. I don't really have an answer.
Okay, it'll come to him later.
Yeah, guess so.
Episode 2.
No problem. Episode 2. Number 4. I think I know, but I could be wrong. Which Culpepper is the biggest prankster?
That'd be Linda.
It's gonna be Linda or Derrick. Honestly, it's gonna be Derrick. It's gonna be Derrick. For years, when I would be taking a shower and he would throw a tall cup of ice water in on me for many years, and
Oh my goodness.
just because he needed something to do. So it would start off as Derrick. He's now trained the children in the way of his pranksters. So now Linda's taking up the helm.
That sounds like so much fun, though.
Not when you're taking a shower.
No, God, no. That wouldn't.
Yep.
And number 5. So we talked a little bit about this because I find this is important. But what's the one food that instantly brings everyone to the table?
My nachos.
Yeah. Being the nachos.
And it's our whole family. And it's so funny because I've given the recipe to so many people, they swear it's not the same. But I make these, I don't even know if you can even call them nachos. But it's like, right. It's like this weird rotel dip that I make, and it has spinach in it and some other cool things. And it's funny. Everybody comes and like it. People know we're making it. Our neighbors and friends come.
Yeah, nachos.
Oh, wow. That's so great.
Yeah, nachos the bomb.
See?
I'm agreeing with you.
I was gonna also say Derrick fries he's a good fryer. That's his country upbringing. He fries chicken well and pork chop, like fish. He can fry
mashed style beans, jiffy cornbread.
Fry that.
Huh? Let's just go with the chicken. Let's just go with the chicken.
Yeah. He's a fry daddy.
I might try it though. Yeah, just go with the
chicken. He probably would try it.
That's
a good one. And we do love playing games while we eat. So we've taught all our kids to play mini games. Now the girls and I really definitely cheat. Now I don't know if Derrick and DJ cheat as much as we do, but we are big cheaters. But we play
I'm fair and square.
So many games. Like under our dining room table, I picked it out specifically because it's like an elevated high top table, but in the middle it's like shelving where we can organize all these. So we're a big game people.
We're real competitive too. I talk a lot of noise.
Very competitive.
Beating the brakes off.
I can see that. I can see that.
We are sore losers and sore winners.
When you watch the Cosmopolitan magazine documentary, if you haven't already, they got us playing a game.
It got a little intense there at the end.
They put a segment of it in there, so it's all in good fun. But I be talking noise when I be beating the brakes off of him. He
loses all the time, Melanie. He loses in every game, but he loves to write history. But
what? Okay, I'll let her tell it. Well, yeah. So
we like playing video games a lot too. So we'll play like Mario Kart, and we'll take turns of who, my husband will not let anybody win. No, it doesn't matter
that's right.
If it's me, or my daughter, he is in it to win it. But if I'm playing with my daughter, I'll like slow down a little bit just to let her win, and then he gets mad. He's like, no. You
Survival of
can't
the
do
fittest
that. You
around
just
here.
need to win. And I'm like, oh, I can't do that. It breaks my heart.
Survival of the fittest around here.
You
You gonna learn, or you gonna get the brakes beat off?
That's right. You're gonna learn. Hey, but I'm gonna tell you, now that they can beat us as
Oh
so
yeah,
many
yeah.
things,
They're good.
they don't let us win either. So
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, she's so good now. She wins at everything, and I lose. And now I'm trying to win on purpose. And it's like, great, forget it. I can't win.
see, you should have won when you had the chance.
I know those years are gone.
Yep.
Now it's too late.
Yeah, it is. It's too late. So thank you very much
Yes.
for your time, and I'm excited. Day 2 is coming, where we
ready.
get to talk some more. So I am Melanie. This is Derrick, and this is Lakeisha. Until next time.
All right. Peace.
Thanks for listening. Until next time, this is Momma Braga wishing you courage to tell your story and joy in every chapter.